today.
Thank you, Kelly. Senators, if you could please indicate that you're here in the chat when your name is called. Claudia Dole Morrison, Armando Garza, Tammy Munoz, Laura Ramos, Veronica Villarreal, Nolan Lasos, Nicole English, Rolando Segovia, Karina Herrera, David Guerra, Jasmine Zuniga, Ashley Mercado, Marvel Mata, Orlando Castaneda, Juan Santos, Monica Granado, Cordelia Rasa, Irene Cardenas, Andres Chavez, John Garza, Kelly Quinn, Marissa Camperano, Melba Cantu, Rogelio Chanez, Karen Dorado, Melanie Garza, Caitlin Bruseth, Yadira Mejia. Thank you, Senators. Madam President, quorum has been established.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good, yes, awesome. All those smiles, the ones I see with the video, and I hope the ones that don't have a video on, y'all have a smile on, because today is a great day to be a vaquero, and we wanna make sure that you all are having a wonderful day today. And so to get us started, thank you all for joining us today. We have our Vice President that wants to share a little bit of words to welcome, nothing too big, but just saying hello.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. We do have a full agenda with very good information to share with you guys. Again, I would like to invite my fellow staff senators to rename yourself as staff senator so that our team here can start identifying you and reach out if they have any questions. So without further ado, let's get started.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. All right, we will now move on to the minutes. And so is there a motion on the floor for the approval of meeting minutes for February 2022?
I move to approve the minutes from February.
All right,
second.
Is there a second?
I second.
All right. All those in favor, please state aye in the Zoom chat. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we have plenty of ayes, so that's a good thing. All right. Let's move on. Motion passes. Let's move on to the approval of meeting minutes for March 2022. Is there a motion on the floor for the approval of meeting minutes for March 2022?
I'll move to approve.
All right, that was Staff Senator Mr. John Garza. Is there a second?
A second.
All right, that was Staff Senator Kelly Quinn. All right, moving on. All those in favor, please state aye in the Zoom chat. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion passes. All right, welcome everyone. Today we have quite a few guest speakers that are remarkable, and they would love to share all about their departments and their division. And so with us today, our very first guest speaker today is our amazing Dr. Raimundo Ramos, Associate Vice President for Student Success. Dr. Ramos, you're on the spotlight.
Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to be with you guys today. I'm going to try to share my screen here. I will tell you, I aggravated a back injury this week, as happens with old men like myself. So I am doing this from home this morning before I head to the office. So you may see my four-legged coworker running around. So I'll apologize for that in advance. What I sort of wanted to do today, if you will indulge me this, is to talk a little bit in general about student success. Can you all see the student success slide?
We do.
Awesome. because what I want to really do is take you through a little bit about the reorganization that has transpired within our division. Then talk a little bit in general about sort of my philosophy on student success and what that sort of means for everyone. I don't mean this for it to be right. It's not necessarily the might not be the prevailing thought in student success. It's sort of what I've gleaned over my years of experience and in my education, and it's sort of what informs me and what I do in my work daily. And then I'll end sort of just by talking a little bit about what student success means for all of us. So I hope that that is okay. I want to start by just saying hello, and yes, I'm here because Yadira and Caitlin forced me to be here. No, they did not. Again, it's a pleasure to be with you guys. I've been at UT-RGV now for going on 3 years, I guess. I arrived just before the pandemic in December or November of 19. There was a period of time where I worked more from home than I had in the office. And so it's nice to be back in the office nowadays. I grew up in Mission, so I'm a Valley kid. I attended the University of Texas at Austin and sort of stayed in the Austin area for the vast majority of my life. I joined UT-RGV after about 23 years or so in higher ed as an AVP for student affairs in the Division of Health Affairs. And then made a transition sort of as everything was reorganizing, made a transition to student success last May. And then just over the break, the vast majority of the reorganization happened and I sort of was handed the keys to 4 different units. So I'll talk a little bit about that as well. Like I said, I did attend the University of Texas at Austin. I graduated with a bachelor's in government or political science. I have a master's and a doctorate in higher education administration as well from Sam Houston State and from Texas Tech University. So again, pleasure to be with you guys here this morning. As I mentioned, there was sort of a grand reorganization of student success that happened late fall going into early this spring. And this is sort of what the new org chart looks like. Dr. Jonica Charlton is our fearless leader. She now oversees a larger number of units. Our student success staff has grown. We now are somewhere in the vicinity, I believe, about 150 or so full-time employees within student success. She has Mauricio De Leon, who runs our operations, and Jay Guzman, who oversees all of our data. He's our main data person. And then there are 6 units that you see there: student strategic pathways, our retention initiatives, our integrated academic support, our innovative teaching and learning, university college, and then MSA, right? My area is students strategic pathways, so I'll reserve that here for a little bit. But I'll tell you a little bit about the other units and what they encompass. Our retention initiatives is headed by Cynthia Saldivar. It sort of is the unit that speaks to our peer mentorship, our first year experience, our soon to be transfer experience. All of the peer mentors, the trailblazers, are housed in that unit. A lot of good work being done by our colleagues in retention initiatives, and Cynthia Saldivar serves as the director over that unit. Our integrated academic support is headed by Dr. Leslie Jones, and that is the Writing Center and the Learning Center. A lot of the PLTL, sort of that supplemental instruction, that sort of thing, is housed in those areas, and she does a wonderful job with those units. Our innovative teaching and learning now has a Center for Teaching Excellence, our Engaged Scholarship Unit, COLT, and Academic Innovation. So all of those units are housed within that particular arm of student success. University College, Dr. Charlton is still the Dean of University College as well. That obviously houses all of our UNIV courses, our undeclared students, right? So all of our learning framework courses, our Design Your Life courses, Living and Learning by Design, are housed in that arm of Student Success. And then, of course, we have our Math and Science Academy that is now a part of Student Success as well. When speaking about the reorganization and what it's meant for me, there are now 4 basic units that I have responsibility for: the Career Center, the Academic Advising Center, degree progress and grad initiatives, and then this new arm that we're calling pre-professional support for right now. Dr. Kamara Jackson has come in and now heads up the Career Center. She's been with us for just about a year now. They are growing their staff. They're in the process of hiring 3 new positions to sort of grow our career exploration and our sort of employment initiatives. So she is now heading that up. PJ, who you guys all know and love, is heading up our degree progress and grad initiatives. He is the director for SSI in that unit. They obviously are doing a lot of good work, sort of with interventions of sort of our subpopulations that deal with persistence and grad rates, right? So they're looking at data and making informed decisions on how to intervene with some of these subpopulations in order to get them to and through graduation. So they play a key role in sort of our persistence and our graduation rates. I am also serving as a de facto director right now for academic advising. I have 7 wonderful lead advisors, 3 wonderful associate directors, and in the vicinity right now of about 64 or so academic advisors, housed both in ITT in Edinburgh and B-Main in Brownsville. I don't know if a lot of folks actually know that we made the transition from ESTAC to ITT last June. I know some of our students are still finding that out, but we have made that physical transition in Edinburgh. If you haven't visited us, I encourage all of you all to do so. It's amazing to see all of the advisors sort of under one roof in Edinburgh and under one roof in Brownsville. I know we have space issues in the Brownsville Center, and so we hope to make some headway with that here in the near future as well. And then additionally, I've also been charged with sort of creating almost from the ground up this sort of new pre-professional support arm. We have an office that's been working out of the sciences that has been dealing with sort of our pre-med students and helping support some of our pre-med students and other pre-professional students as they have been able to, right, with the limited number of staff that they have had, but the vast majority of that has been with pre-med students. And I quickly came in and said, well, what about our pre-vet and pre-dent and pre-whatever students, right? Helping our students get to just grad programs. We need to do some additional outreach. We need to provide additional support. And what came back was great, make it happen. And so we've started early conversations on trying to sort of grow the services that we have for all of our pre-professional students and hope to grow that and have something fully in place by the fall semester. So that is sort of in sort of broad strokes what we look like now after the reorganization, right? As I mentioned, right, I want to talk a little with you guys as well, just about student success in general. And if you would, I know many of you guys don't have your cameras on and that's fine, but if you would in the chat, sort of tell me what you guys think. What is student success to you? What does that mean to you guys? And yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see this, so I might need your help in seeing what's popping up in the chat.
I can definitely assist, Dr. Ramos. We have Oliver Lozano, which says student success equals to staff success.
Okay.
We have from Ms. Jessica Sanchez, student success involves preparing them for 21st century skills and well-being.
I like that.
We have our staff center, Nicole English. It is in all our job description. Without student success, we don't have a job.
Love that, Nicole. Love that. And all of those things are true, right? And the reality is that each of you probably could come up with your own definition of what student success really is, right? And I think that that's the point, is that for students themselves, what it means for them to be successful is really dependent upon them. For them, it may be professional goals. For some of them, it may be family goals that are helped by their or through their education, right? So it's a wide variety of different things. And so for us, for all of us, it's really important for us to help our students become empowered to really take ownership of their academic journeys and help them plan and execute and reach whatever goals they have, whether it be personal, whether it be academic, or whether it be professional. So I really, really love that from you guys. When we talk student success, right, there are also a wide variety of different things that affect students and their ultimate success, right? Given by, if you look at the research, right, this is what some of the things that are sort of pop up more frequently as to some of the barriers to student success, yes, but even more so for Latino students, which obviously we're highly first gen, we're highly Latino, we're highly Pell eligible, right? So a lot of our students come from low socioeconomic backgrounds. And this is what the literature sort of speaks to our students sort of facing in reaching their academic, personal, and professional goals, right? It may be that maybe they weren't prepared for the rigor of college, right? And so they face those issues in the transition from high school to college and then maintaining throughout to degree. This imposter syndrome, right, of not feeling like they're worthy or that they belong or that they have the adequate skills to be successful, right? That's certainly a fallacy, but it's something that a lot of our students do face, and it is true to them, right? Financial hardships is something that our students absolutely face, whether it's just the cost of education or books or whatever it is. We know that this is a reality for many of our students. Issues with help seeking, right? Whether it's sort of a fear of authority or not feeling comfortable in reaching out to their faculty, to staff, even to peers at times, right? Rather going it alone, and even if they're facing obstacles, they'd rather face it alone, oftentimes, than reaching out and saying, hey, I really need help. Can somebody please help me? Or where do I go for help? Right? That's something that our students don't engage in. Lack of campus engagement is another. Right, that has struck me for sure in just seeing the number of students that are dropped off every day, right? And then they get picked up after classes. It's really easy for these students to get on campus, go to their classes, and then go back to their homes and their communities and sort of forget about the importance of being involved on campus and what that really can do for them with regards to leadership and other soft skills, right, that are important for them. And then this other thing of familismo, right? We know that family is so important, especially in the Latino culture. And sometimes the ties to family can impede what we do in the classroom. Sometimes a lot of times, for example, our Latino males have to contribute to the financial aspects of the family. And so sometimes those work schedules can impede upon classroom time and study time and those sorts of things. So that can also be a barrier at times for many of our students. But I think one thing that I want to talk to you guys about is something that I've seen very, very common with our students. And with that, I want to start with this. So think about this. When you were little Yadira or little John Garza or little Kelly, what was the first thing that you wanted to be when you grew up?
Do I answer that, Dr. Ramos?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I remember that I wanted to be an elementary teacher.
Okay, that was the first thing you remember being.
Yes.
Anybody else in the chat, what is it that you wanted to be?
We have Kelly, neurosurgeon, Jeremy,
Nice.
an attorney, getting to law school, Miranda, vet. Melanie wants to be a pop star, Melanie Garza, Oliver.
Melanie Garza.
Noelle and stewardess. Yeah, plenty of roles out there.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
being a vet, yeah.
so y'all remember, right? That first thing that you wanted to be when you grew up, right? Y'all know this guy, right? That guy looks kind of familiar. He gave a speech at Northwestern at commencement in 2011, and this is what he said about that first thing that we might have thought of doing, right? If we'd all stuck with our first dream job, the world would be overrun with cowboys and princesses, right? I, like Melanie, wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be a professional singer. That's what I wanted to do. You can see how well that worked out. I'm here with you guys this morning, right? But it's the first thing that I wanted. And I say that, right, because a lot of our students don't have a true idea of what it is they want to do for the rest of their lives. And that impedes and affects a lot of what happens with their academics and with their academic journeys at UTRGV. High school students are only familiar with 5 particular fields. Can you all guess what those fields are? They're pretty standard. I'll give you the first one, law, right? That's an overarching field that's where our students gravitate to when they're thinking about their majors and when they're thinking about their careers. Any other guesses?
Someone
Other
said teaching, medicine, doctor, teacher.
Yep, you all are on it, right? Teaching is one, healthcare is one, business is one, engineering is one. This is what our students think of traditionally, according to research, when they're thinking about what it is I want to do in college, right? What's the problem with that? Why is that an issue? Well, when you look at the first 5, the top 5 enrolled majors at UTRGV, biology, criminal justice, mechanical engineering, nursing, and psychology. I took this, I think, about a year ago from sort of our data, right? What's the issue with students just focusing on these 5 majors? This is everything that's available to them. And oftentimes they don't think about the whole of the opportunities that are available to them and the pathways that they can form when it comes to a major, a minor, an internship, right? They don't think about how they can shape their sort of academic and career to really get the most out of their UTRGV education, right? Our students tend to think about their major and career sort of like this, sort of like a ladder, a very linear path from point A to point B, right? But what's the issue with that? Is that most careers look like this, right? I started as a admissions counselor, and I worked in student success, and I worked in academic success programs, and I worked in student affairs administration. I went to the private sector for a very, very short period of time and got back to higher ed as quickly as I could, right? So students don't think about that. They think, I want to be a business person, so I need to go to business school. But they don't think about all the other paths that can lead them to that same end game, right? And I think all of us can help our students with that. There's a lack of self-awareness with our students, and they don't think about sort of these VIPs, right? What is it that they value? What is it that they're really interested in? What is their personality like? And how does that affect what it is that they want to do? And so what sort of skills do you really have, right? I've talked to a lot of students that are going into healthcare, into nursing, for example. What I want to help people serve. Well, what does that mean, right? You can help people through a wide variety of different things. How are your science and math skills? Well, I don't like them. Well, you're going to need those for healthcare, right? You're going to need those for nursing. You're going to need those for anything else in healthcare. They don't think about those things often, right? And so we need to help them sort of become a little more self-aware and match their skills and their personality and their interests and their values more closely to what it is they want to do. You know, with their personality, for example, if they're an introvert, it might not be good to go into marketing where you're always presenting with people and working with people, right? And if you're an extrovert, you might not want to be a forensic accountant when you're sort of digging into numbers all day, right? And probably not interacting with a whole lot of people. So they need to think about those things, and we need to help them think about those things. I thought about these two quotes as I was putting this together. If you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid, right? I think oftentimes that our students don't realize what they're capable of. And a lot of folks will think about the deficits that those students will have or the barriers that they may have, but they don't think about their strengths. What is it that makes you strong? Our students have faced a lot of obstacles and they bring a lot of strengths to the table. And I think that we can help them find those strengths and play on those strengths to get through their academics and onto their careers. I think they'll be better served. All of us do not have equal talent, but all of us have an equal opportunity to develop our talents, right? I think it's up to all of us to help our students dream, to explore, right? What they need to develop is sort of that grit, right? Ganas. If they have that more often than not, they're going to be able to succeed. And we can improve upon sort of the 30% graduation rates that we've seen for years. It's time to move the needle. And I think if we can help our students sort of persist through that grit and the ganas, I think we'll all be better served in the end. And it truly does take a village, right? We all play, as Nicole said, it's all in our job descriptions, in all of our job descriptions, right? And campus-wide collaboration is critical. In my dissertation research, right, part of the thing that I discussed was the difference between an institutional agent, which all of us are institutional agents, right? If Yadira has somebody that comes to her to talk advising, right, and she serves that student her official capacity, she's being an institutional agent, right? But what we all can become is empowerment agents. When somebody comes to us, right, and has an issue, maybe that's financial, right? But Yadira's an academic advisor. It's like, look, I may not have the answers for you, but I can certainly pick up the phone, call my contact in financial aid, and we're going to get you taken care of, right? Making those warm handoffs all over campus to act on behalf of students whenever they need help or even before they need help, I think does our students a world of good. And I think it does us as staff a world of good as well. So I'm excited about the role that we play in student success. I'm excited about the reorganization of our unit, and I'm excited about playing a part in this with all of you guys and seeing how we can all collaborate for the betterment of our students and our institution. And with that, I'll stop talking because I talked a whole heck of a lot. Any questions?
Any questions, anyone? Comments? We did see plenty of comments on what they would like to be. So I think you sparked that up, Dr. Ramos.
It's,
And
you
we
know,
do have Mhm.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, we do have a question. Do you serve graduate students?
So we do serve graduate students in different capacities with student success, right? So students we have more and more students that are coming in with second degrees, right? They're pursuing second degrees. And our degree progress unit is going to take the lead with a lot of those students as well. We are looking at ways to help them either through advising or this degree progress arm as well. So yeah, that's certainly a population that's integral to our success. So we look to find new ways to serve them for sure.
And we have one more question from Mr. Lozano. Will advisement be more general now?
Be more general now?
Mr. Lozano, can you please clarify or further explain? Before it was by college.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes. So our staff will continue to be assigned by cluster. So we have our health affairs and sciences cluster, our business engineering cluster, and our liberal arts education, fine arts cluster, right? So within that cluster, we're going to do more professional development, right? So our staff can more specifically assist students within those clusters. But what we want to do is have more professional development to cross-train and be able to serve any student, whether they're in our cluster or not. I think we also need to do a better job in advising of meeting students where they are instead of doing outreach and waiting for students to come to us. We hope to be able to more freely go to where students are. And I think that will hopefully help improve the numbers that we see taking advantage of academic advising in the future.
We do have one more question. So do you do outreach to high school senior in the Valley?
We do. We do some work with pipeline programs. We're working with different districts like Harlingen. I think McAllen's coming on board. I think FAR's come on board. So we're looking to grow that. We also are working with specific colleges and schools like health professions and others that do pipeline work. And so we will continue to grow those efforts as well as working with high school counselors themselves to sort of better inform them on how they can help students think more freely about what it is they want to be before they ever reach us, right? I think that's critical. And our high school counselors are so overwhelmed with just the day-to-day that we need to do a better job, I think, of helping them think about those peripheral things that really affect their students as they go off to college.
That's it for our presentation. Questions? You did have a lot of comments in terms of great presentation, and it was very informative. So I'm glad that everyone was able to learn a little bit more about student success. If you do have any other questions, again, Dr. Ramos did provide his email. You're more than welcome to reach out to him there. And thank you so much, Dr. Ramos.
I appreciate you guys. And I am seeing, thank you guys all. I am seeing some questions about, do you guys visit high schools? We certainly are open to that. So if there's any need or you all see a need for that, please feel free to reach out. And we certainly can think about making some of those visits, some of our high schools, sure. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks for having me and not running me out of town.
Thank you. Have a great one, Dr. Ramos.
You too.
All right, so our next guest speakers are from the Udon Consulting. And so with that in mind, I would like for you all to welcome the following individuals: Ms. Erica Tabor, Dr. Mary Jane Lewitt, Ms. Noellen G. Yassos, and Ms. Franca Nurzinski.
Thank you so much, Yadira, and good morning, everyone. I'm Franca Nurzinski, one of the folks from Huron that's been partnering with UTRGV in this effort over the last number of months. I'm going to go ahead and get us started, and hopefully I'm able to pull up our presentation here. So before we jump into a round of introductions, I thought I would just very briefly cover what we're hoping to discuss this morning in our presentation, and then, as I said, we'll do a brief round of introductions. So we'll do an overview of our strategic planning process at UTRGV to date, and then we're going to present a few components of our draft strategic plan outline that the UTRGV steering committee has been working on over the last number of months. And then hopefully we'll have a little bit of time for discussion and questions and answers as well. So with that, I would love to invite Dr. Mary Jane Lewitt to briefly introduce herself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mary Jane Lewitt. I have been chairing the strategic planning committee here at UTRGV, but in my day job, I'm the interim dean of the School of Nursing. So we've been working with this great group of people and have really enjoyed working with you over the past several months and learning about your desires for the future of the university.
Thank you so much, Mary Jane. And Noellen Yassos, would you like to briefly introduce yourself?
Thank you, Franca. Good morning, everybody. My name is Noellen Yassos. I work out of the College of Business, and I have the pleasure to serve in this steering committee on behalf of you all and the Staff Senate.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Noellen. And I'd like to say there's also a number of other of our steering committee members on the call today. So I saw Nicole drop something in the chat earlier, and I believe Dr. Christian Corrales is speaking after us. So we have some great representation from our steering committee here. And of course, I'd welcome any of their comments throughout our presentation. As I said at the beginning, I'm Franca. I'm one of the consultants from Huron. We're a higher education consulting firm, and we were selected to partner with the university in this effort. I will invite my colleague Erica to briefly introduce herself as well.
Hello, everybody. My name is Erica Tabor, and I've been a part of the planning process, and I'm very excited to give you all an overview, and thank you for making time for us today.
Thanks so much, Erica. And now I'll invite Erica to briefly go over a bit of the history and context of our planning process to date, and then talk a little bit about what are the components of a strategic plan, and then we can begin to dive into the content itself. Erica?
Thank you, Franca. So in order to give you an idea of what the strategic planning process looks like, we wanted to spend a few minutes giving you an overview of the various inputs and outputs of this process. In partnership with the Strategic Planning Steering Committee, made up of faculty and staff from across UTRGV, we have been developing a new strategic plan and have utilized a number of different inputs. These inputs include internal data and market data, as well as insights from focus groups, interviews, and surveys. We then worked through these inputs to produce a strategic plan framework that is made up of various outputs, such as a refined mission and vision, strategic priorities, and related strategic initiatives. You can go ahead and flip to the next slide. So as Franca said, strategic plans are typically composed of different components identified on this slide here. We will be focusing today on the values, vision, priorities, and initiatives. So I'll briefly run through those items. Values are meant to help inform UTRGV's mission. The vision identifies the direction that we should focus efforts and resources. Vertical priorities are discrete and distinct lanes of activity that will help us realize our vision. Horizontal priorities are cross-cutting areas of action that then infuse multiple verticals and help realize our vision. And then initiatives fall under priorities and will help us realize the vision during a specific time period. So with that quick overview, I'll hand it over to Mary Jane to discuss the refined vision and values.
Good morning, everyone. For our vision statement, we've kind of really changed that around a great deal. If you go to the strategic planning page on our current website, you'll see that it's about 2 sentences. But this revised draft vision statement really is looking towards expanding and clarifying who we are as UTRGV. And it starts by saying, drawing on our unique identity as the leading Hispanic serving institution in a bilingual and bicultural environment, UTRGV will promote student success by building from strength in education and creating a vibrant residential experience. By 2027, we will accelerate transformation in the Rio Grande Valley and beyond by driving meaningful advancements in research and discovery, expanding access to high quality and affordable healthcare, and fostering authentic community integration and engagement. So this is a much broader and more clarifying statement than we have given in the past related to this. Moving on to our draft core values, you will see that the first 3, excellence, diversity, access, and inclusion, inquiry, discovery, and creativity are very similar to the core values that we had in our previous strategic plan. And that's where we start seeing kind of some adaptations and some shifting in this current version. Shared leadership and accountability combines kind of several components of the old plan. The shared statement is coming from our previous kind of shared governments. It is still there, but expanding that to be shared leadership across both staff and faculty and across all of our organizations, but also adding in the accountability component to it. Also, adding to our core value statements is a student centricity statement, which really brings students to the forefront of everything that we're doing. And then adding in also collaboration, which kind of pulls in our community support as well. And then constant adaptability, being flexible and maintaining a positive mindset to change depending upon what kind of things change in our future. So these are kind of the thoughts and values that we have right now related to our vision and our core values. And I'll
Thank you
turn
very
it
much,
back over.
Mary Jane. Terrific, thank you. And we didn't plan it this way, but in fact, having Dr. Ray Ramos's presentation right before ours, I think really mirrors the importance of student access and success to the university's mission. And you can see that reflected both in our vision statement and also in the core values with the proposed addition of student centricity as a new value. So next, I'd like to briefly cover what we see as the draft vertical and horizontal strategic priorities. In UTRGV's prior strategic plan, there were a number of different priorities, and you see some of them again reflected here. For example, research and scholarship and health education and patient care are modified versions of priorities that continue to be relevant from UTRGV's prior strategic plan. So you can see here there are 5 proposed vertical priorities. And again, those are those discrete and distinct lanes of activity that will help us realize our vision. And then we have 3 proposed horizontal priorities, which are intended to be cross-cutting areas of action. You can see, for example, people would cross-cut against each of these because we need faculty, staff, and students to be successful to realize these vertical priorities. Likewise, community engagement and integration really touches on each of these vertical priorities as well. Now, we don't have time to cover them all today, so what we're going to do is cover just 2. We're going to highlight student access and success, and again, some nice parallels with the prior presentation. And we're also going to briefly cover people. And so with that quick overview, I'm going to turn it over to Noellen to dive a little bit deeper into these priority areas. And then after that, we'll hopefully open it up for a little bit of discussion and questions. Noellen?
Thank you so much, Franca. So as Franca indicated earlier, it was very fitting for Dr. Ramos to be on board this morning and give us this presentation because student access and success is one of our top priorities because we all play a part of it. So diving deeper into it, the first bullet indicates that as an institution that serves a unique population of students, including Hispanic and first-generation students, UTRGV is committed to promoting students' access and success by fostering academic readiness and increasing educational attainment in the Rio Grande Valley and beyond. Also, UTRGV advances student success by cultivating an environment where students are provided access to a range of academic and student support services, as well as opportunities to lead, learn, and serve in the community. And lastly, UTRGV recognizes the importance of providing a high quality educational and co-curricular experience at an affordable cost. And I'm really trying to enunciate and read those words carefully because each one has been thought of and purposely put on there. And keep that as a food for thought as well. Next slide, Ms. Franca. Thank you. And so we've identified, the steering committee has identified a few preliminary signature initiatives. And so on the first one, it says expand dual enrollment programs and promoting academic readiness through community outreach and partnerships with local K-12 schools. We're going to strengthen academic and other financial supports for students through scholarship and tuition guarantee programs. We've highlighted the Luminary Scholarship Program, as well as work study and direct wage opportunities and off-campus employment. Leveraging data-informed decision-making to predict student outcomes and implement targeted interventions. And the other initiative would to expand and enhance programs to increase retention and reduce time to graduation, including the UTRGV Tuition Advantage Program. And last but not least, promote postgraduate success by ensuring students continue to graduate from UTRGV with minimal to no student debt. So those are some signature initiatives that the committee has come up to ensure the student access and success priority are going to be met. Moving on to the people priority. Our first bullet, we indicated UTRGV is committed to cultivating an environment that supports diversity, equity, and inclusion, and investing in its people and their well-being and advancement. UTRGV aims to increase trust and accountability, reduce silos across the organization, and foster a collaborative community between administration, faculty, and staff. UTRGV recognizes that its people are a foundational element for the university and strives to further develop an environment where all members of the community can flourish. And then the next slide will show you some of the signature initiatives that the committee has thought of, and among them is to promote faculty and staff retention and development, and position UTRGV as an employer of choice by offering competitive pay, merit programs, and remote and flexible work options. Additionally, advance diversity, equity, and inclusion, including increasing representation of underrepresented minorities among UTRGV's faculty and staff. We are also looking at strengthening career progression and succession, planning for faculty and staff, including providing access to career pathways for non-tenured track faculty, and increased collaboration among faculty and staff by promoting shared governance and reducing organizational silos. And so, colleagues, I do want to point out that all of these points and words, as I mentioned earlier, are carefully thought of and purposely placed on there, and we all gather that from the data and feedback that we received from you all. So thank you for that participation, and I hope that you all will continue to participate as the committee forms our new strategic plan.
Thank you so much, Noellen. That was a terrific overview. And again, as Noellen was just pointing out, these are really still in draft form. There's a lot of continued iteration that is still ongoing. And of course, we've highlighted just a couple of opportunities here so far. So what I'd love to do is, we have received a couple of comments in the chat. I'd love to open it up for discussion. You can feel free to either speak up directly or put some comments into the chat. We'd love to hear from you all for student access and success, and for people, the two priorities that we've highlighted thus far. Are there other current initiatives or activities that would support these two areas? And are there any new ideas that you would like to highlight that we should consider as well? And I recognize, I think we're a little above our time, so we can have a bit of dialogue. And then if you'd like to share any additional comments, you're welcome to either reach out to Noellen or to Erica. We've included our contact information below. And I see some of the comments. One individual said they love the first point under people. There were also some thoughts around free tuition for employee dependents. And then there were some additional resources shared. So I think the free tuition for employee dependents is an interesting point, and certainly there are other institutions that do this. So that's something we'd be happy to take back to the committee and discuss further going forward. Any other comments or feedback from the group? As Noellen said, we've already received a lot of input from you all, but would love to continue to hear your comments and suggestions.
Hi, this is Javier. I haven't formulated my thought on this one too well, but as I look at our makeup, I think community engagement is very important. Many of our families, sometimes this is the first generation, and I think somehow becoming a part of the community and showing that this is a safe place to come and in the next transition from high school. So I think anything that we can do to demonstrate that more will only help us in helping students, come here and then finish as well.
Thank you, Javier. That's a really excellent point. And I think you nicely illustrate the cross-cutting nature of community engagement and integration, because you've just pointed to how that plays a role in student access and success, and considering the role of the family in supporting the student through before they come to campus and then throughout their time and then in post-graduation as well. So that's certainly something we'll take back to the steering committee and consider how we can incorporate that into our work. I see there's a comment in the chat about the rating system and the fact that it affects morale and that supervisors should be rated as well. So essentially upward feedback in addition to downward feedback. I think that's a really excellent point. And we do have some folks like Nicole English on our steering committee. So we would be more than glad to work with her to think about how to integrate that great suggestion. Thank you, Oliver Lozano. Anyone else? All right, well, I'm conscious of the time and I believe we are a bit over. So perhaps we'll stop there, but again, we would love to have any additional comments. I'll put Erica's contact information in the chat for you all right now. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're more than happy to have additional dialogue. And again, we're so grateful for your time. We're grateful for your participation throughout this process. And we look forward to hopefully speaking with you all again very soon. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody.
Thank you so much, Franca. And thank you so much, Ms. Noellen and Mary Jane and Erica. We're glad to have you part of this, sharing this with our community. And so just where the direction of the university is taking, the importance of what our institution values. And so each of you is valued, and we're, any consideration, any idea, any thoughts, please feel free to email the email that Franca went ahead and provided to you all. But thank you all so much. We really appreciate you all.
Thank you.
All right, our next guest speaker for today is also an amazing one. So Dr. Christian Corrales, are you here?
Yeah, yes, I'm here. Hello.
All right, awesome. All right, you're on the spotlight now. So.
Oh, I appreciate that. Just right into the deep end, huh? Just like that. Well, I appreciate Madam President for the time, and fellow colleagues, esteemed colleagues, and those that are on the Zoom call. I appreciate just the time and the platform to talk to you all about an amazing initiative that, if I think back, it kind of began with a conversation with back then former staff council president Rebecca about how to incorporate and build on the culture of service that bounds the Vaquero community. And then it's kind of then carried on with Noelyn, and then now we're here full circle. And sadly, the pandemic, as it kind of hit our homes and our communities, we weren't really able to take strong strides. However, through the generosity of the Student Fee Advisory Committee Funding Committee, we're here now to present to you all an initiative that we hope to build on. And so this is the first year that the Office of Community Engagement, and for those that don't know who I am, I'm Christian Corrales, and I serve as the Assistant Vice President for Community Engagement here at the university, and which is an area that falls under the Division of Governmental and Community Relations. And I've been here at UTRGV and quickly been embraced by the Vaquero culture and family and community. And what really strikes me is that this university is very well intentional, and whoever mentioned community engagement prior during the discussion is very evident in what we do and through our pride points of how we take in and give back throughout the Rio Grande Valley. And so taking that concept and taking that opportunity of how do we build on this culture, right, or instill a culture so that it could be part of our identity. We're going through this strategic planning initiative that I've learned a lot of the, I'm a Brownsville native, but I've learned a lot of just the university's approach and intentionality. And I feel that it's very evident that it harnesses the strengths, the assets, and the resources of the region. And so in order to build on that, we need to institutionalize community engagement through efforts, programs, and services. So the Vaqueros Volunteer Program or event actually that I would like to discuss or share with you all to take part in is a day of service. So it builds on and we kind of replicated in similar fashion to the MLK, the current and existing MLK Day of Service initiative. The uniqueness of this particular day of service that it's in partnership with our good neighbor, partner in trust, Engaged Scholarship and Learning Department towards the end of their symposium. So next week, they launched their Engaged Scholarship Symposium. And we felt that if we were to incorporate or within their programming, a day of service that could combine and connect students, faculty, and staff, will be a great way to interact and provide an enriching experience of vaqueros serving certain pockets of the community. Now, mind you, as I mentioned earlier, this is our first attempt, and our hopes is to grow it, because I feel that the Rio Grande Valley, there's many pockets that have great need and great need of support and great need of opportunities for us to give back. So we're hoping that through the success of this year, we could build up on it and continue to grow and hopefully make it a tradition, as many traditions have to start at some point in some place. And so again, that is the intentionality and kind of the motivation behind Vaqueros Volunteer. So it is framed as a day of service, and it's available for staff, again, to participate. Y'all don't have to participate necessarily in the symposium, but y'all can definitely register and collaborate and be a part of this day of service so that y'all can integrate and I guess collaborate with not only our students and some faculty, but also with some really strong community partners that we have there. With that, I feel that we've selected, we're in the effort of recruiting 100 volunteers. So 50 for the Brownsville campus and 50 for the Edinburg campus. We're at this point at the halfway mark. We have 4 sites that that our team has selected, and the team, meaning the Office of Community Engagement in particular, are phenomenal and amazing student ambassadors. They've done a lot of the legwork in putting this together. And so they're very assertive in their doings. So we have 2 that are funneling in these days of service in Brownsville, which includes Good Neighbor Settlement House and the Gladys Porter Zoo. And then in Edinburg, or the surrounding area of Edinburg, is the San Carlos Community Resource Center. And the other is the St. Andrew's Pet Shelter or Rescue. I got that a little bit, butchered that name a little bit. So those are the 4 sites. So we're in need of recruiting 100 volunteers. If you do not want to volunteer, sorry, thank you, Beverly, who's online, Larry P. Andrews, and phenomenal colleague. If you feel that you don't want to serve, we're also in need of chaperones. So we're recruiting 4 chaperones for the Edinburg crew and 4 chaperones for the Brownsville crew. And then just to incentivize y'all's participation, we will be meeting and we'll cover the details once you register. We'll have a brief orientation. We'll be feeding you all and we'll be outfitting you all. So the outfit, we purchased t-shirts that says Vaqueros Volunteer, hashtag in the back, Vaqueros Volunteer. So we're trying to build on this brand so that it can kind of, this will be the start, and then it will merge to multiple programs, services, and events down the road. And so if you're interested, you could go to the engagement zone icon through your myutrgv.edu. And I shared with Madam President Mejia a flyer. Hopefully she could share that out to those present. But definitely we really could lean and count on your support to help us make this a huge success. And we will be transporting all volunteers. So we'll be transporting and picking you guys up from both respective campuses. With that, I do want to take this opportunity for just a plug to really publicly congratulate our student ambassadors, Caritza, Sarah, Jesse, Sherilyn, for the conclusion of the clothing drive that so many of y'all participated and did the last 3 weeks. We concluded that last Friday with an enormous and huge success, an overwhelming success. And so I want to thank them because that was a student-led initiative that came out of our office, and I want to give them credit where credit was due. But also credit and thanks to all participating departments. We had over 70 departments that participated and gave and donated to that cause. And we pretty much accumulated close to around 8,000 items, clothing items that went back also to certain nonprofits throughout the Rio Grande Valley. So if you participated in that, or if your department participated in that, wholeheartedly thank you for that effort. So again, in the spirit of building this culture of service, I also challenge you all, colleagues, to share your ideas to our office so that we could put them in and brainstorm and put them into play. Again, this Vaqueros Volunteer Initiative is all credit to the initial conversation that we had with Rebecca 2 years ago. So I'm very happy to see it happening and come to fruition. So Staff Senate, keep us honest, keep on challenging our office, and we welcome them. So with that, I yield my time for any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Corrales. We did post a flyer in the chat in case y'all missed it. So it's in the, if y'all want to scroll up a bit, the chat, the flyer is there. And so please go ahead and download it, save it, and attend. Your service is a big contribution to our university community. With that in mind, does anyone have any questions or ideas for Dr. Corrales?
Jessica, I saw that you posted something for the group to view about the 100 volunteers. Definitely, yes, the food bank, as y'all may come to be aware, there's a lot of food shortages because of the transportation logistics on all the international bridges. Jessica, if you haven't posted the need through our engagement zone volunteer management platform, please email me, christian.corrales@utrgv.edu, so that we can kind of get connected and so that we can post that need for the entire university community. Any questions?
Will do.
Hi, Jessica.
There was, we have one, the flyer has 20 slots left, but is that for students only? From
if you're wanting to chaperone, here's probably the easiest way. So we're needing 4 chaperones for each site. If you're wanting to chaperone, do not take the registration slot. Email me directly. I'll put it on the chat, and so that we could coordinate that with you guys. Because yeah, we want to leave the slots open for those that want to serve. If you just want to go and chaperone and be an extra set of eyes and ears, we also appreciate it and greatly appreciate that. And thank you, Beverly. Beverly is one of our extraordinarily staff members in our office. She oversees our nonprofit resource center. And so she's helping me kind of put all the links on there. So appreciate that, Beverly. Yeah, any other questions? So hopefully you all come out and take part of this initial pilot first year event. And from there, hopefully to grow it to more areas and to recruit more volunteers. I don't want to share too much of my my ambitious kind of goal, but eventually I think at year 10 of running this program, hopefully it becomes an institutional program and tradition. By year 10, we should be able to recruit 1,000 volunteers for one day of service. So you heard it here today. Year 1 is 100 and we'll build from there. But thank you guys so much. And I appreciate y'all's time and I appreciate everything y'all do.
Sounds great. Sounds like a great, ambitious idea, Dr. Corrales. Together as a unified group and institution, we will get there. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to our next guest speaker, we do have Ms. Andrea Yen. And so she is our director of the recruitment office. And so with that in mind, she'll be talking to you all about the undergraduate efforts that recruitment is doing, especially because orientation just started. And so Ms. Andrea Yen, are you here?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Awesome.
Okay.
You're on spotlight now.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, I have slides for you guys. So here we go. And you'll have to help me out with questions and I'll try not to take forever because I can talk a lot. Thank you, Yadira. My name is Andrea Yen, Director of Undergraduate Recruitment. We do a lot of things, and so I hope in this time you'll get just a real high level of what happens in our office, and I'm going to give you some places where we go real into the nitty-gritty of what we do and some other opportunities for you to learn about our office. But to get started, our team, we are small and mighty. So this is our team, most of everyone. I'm trying to move some stuff around on my screen, I'm sorry. It's not everyone on the left, but that's nearly the entire team. So this is the group with a lot of help from a lot of partners, and some of you are from the offices that make up those partners, and we can't do it without our campus community, but I am very proud of them. So last fall, this is the group that brought in the 5450 freshman class. And around just under 2,000 transfer students. So we are broken into territories and we function by territory management. Some of those, well, I'm gonna go back here. So I also wanna mention with that 5450 is we are the Office of Undergraduate Recruitment, but we are like so close sisters to the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. And so that team also, when you think of us, we are integrated. We're just the loud side of that is out of our offices and in places and doing things. And admissions is our very, very busy bee office, making sure that these students actually get through. So we're very similar and related. So here we go. Here's our team. For Hidalgo County, we have these three recruiters for Hidalgo County. If you have a pretty good map of the county in your head, you can kind of see where these areas break down. Just for logistics, it makes sense to have your high schools near each other so that you can hit more in one day. So Jesus leads our outreach team, and really at any point, anytime you have a student and you don't know who to send them to start with Jesus, and he'll help you connect with the correct outreach rep. Victoria and Danielle are, sorry guys, I visited Houston the last few days and Houston did not agree with me. So I'm at the pine trees. Victoria and Danielle are two, I want to be correct, I think they're our newest members in Hidalgo County. So if you have not gotten the chance to meet them, you might not see them on campus, but they're around. Cameron Willisey is led by Pablo and Noel. Noel is primarily BISC. It is a big district to manage, and Pablo does kind of that middle, mid-valley, lower mid-valley area. So that's all that is located between Edinburgh and Brownsville, or just those 5. We do have a regional team. So if you didn't know, these individuals do, well, Carla does, but we have outreach reps that do not live here in the Valley. Andy is our Associate Director for Regional Recruitment. She lives in Fort Worth. Mason does the greater San Antonio and Central Texas area. He actually lives in San Antonio. Alejandro lives in Houston and covers the Houston area, Gulf Coast. Carla is based out of Edinburgh, but covers our Laredo and Coastal Bend areas. So she is very, very much on the road most of the time, visiting those areas. These outreach reps cover freshmen and transfer. So in the different regions, we have 2-year schools that students may come from, like Tarrant County, Dallas County, PAC, Lone Star. Laredo College is actually a very big feeder, and then Del Mar, Corpus Christi area. Our 2 local transfer reps are Veronica and Jamie. Veronica is based out of the Brownsville campus and spends most of her time at TSC, and will visit TSTC in Harlingen as well. And then Jamie is at STC nearly 5 days a week. We have an office in their advising center. So he is actually there every day of the week discussing with their graduating students of what to do next. And then any student who might be wanting to connect early and making sure they're on the right transfer path and taking the right courses for whatever degree they may want to do at UTRGV. So he's there all the time based out of their advising center. We have 2 girls down at the U Central Matamoros office, Ali and Priscilla. They are working right now with a lot of the high schools in the area, helping students with their applications as international students. So students do not have to cross in order to speak to someone. This center is actually open, if you're not aware, to current students as well. So if you're down in Brownsville and you know students who may need to connect with U Central for financial aid or any reason, they do not need to come to the Brownsville campus. They can connect with Ali and Priscilla, and they can assist students without them having to come over if they are not able to for some reason. And then our office also does orientation, campus tours, and our campus visit program, which I'll go into a little bit of what all of those teams do. Many people do know Crystal because she's been the orientation coordinator for some time, and asks you guys for a lot to help us get through those programs. And then April is her first day is today. So poor April, I've had to ignore her while getting ready for you guys, but she's our new program coordinator for campus tours, recruitment events. As we head towards Vaquero Roundup, which I don't know if I'm ready to actually say those words, she will be helping us and leading out on that program as well. So we can only do this, and a lot of offices I know feel the same. If it wasn't for our student employees, I don't know how we would get anything done. And this is a very small group of them. There are, I can't even tell you how many right now. We just hired a whole bunch. But our V Squad is made up of tour guides, orientation leaders, the staff that manages our visitor center, and then we also have a call team. And so when you call that U Central main line, new students can use that line as well, and it gets directed to our call team to help them with applications, their next steps, and orientation. So here are some things we do. I'm not going to get into this a lot, but I do want to make you aware that we deal with students when we think about new students in the incoming freshman class. We think of them through a funnel process, so that we move them through. We do a lot of things in these different areas to increase our prospects, inquiries, applicants, and then when we do our updates, and I'll give you some more information about that, this is what we're talking about when we talk about recruitment or recruitment cycle, which runs September to September. So we're hitting the end. We're really towards the end of this cycle for this freshman class, which might sound crazy to you, but we're already working with juniors. So right now, our recruiters are starting to work with juniors into their senior year. We're already thinking fall 23 already. Okay, some things that our outreach reps do and our office does. Obviously, UTRGV presentations. We have a standard presentation that I think recruiters can probably give in their sleep. I know I could. We are in the high schools, 2 years, applications, FAFSA drives, all that good stuff. And of course, college fairs upon college fairs. They were back in person this past fall. Many of us were very out of practice, but we are almost exclusively back in schools and back in person. STC and TSC took a little bit in the fall. They had similar modalities to UTRGV, but again, similar to us. They've gone back in person for a lot of their classes this spring. And so we are out and visiting and seeing students face to face at their schools, at the fairs, at the events. Here are some things we do in our office to bring and this is so high level, and I'm trying Yadira, to not spend too much time on any of this.
You're good. You're
Okay.
good.
I'm really anxious. I don't want to be late. I don't want to ruin your agenda. Hopefully you know about Discover UTRGV. That is our main preview day. This is where it really is focused towards juniors and seniors in the application process, making that decision, narrowing down where they might be going to, trying to figure out if UTRGV is the right fit. What we like to say in recruitment is we are telling your story. So whatever your story is for your college, your department, what student success does, what career services does, what you can do in each of the colleges, we want to tell that story to prospective students. Because like I said in that funnel, we have to have a big group at that top to get that freshman class at the bottom. And so this is how we try to build that in, is one, just bringing any student or any family to campus for preview day. We do something specifically for high achieving students. So honors college night, different visit day experiences to make sure that we're telling the story of what it means to be a high achieving student, to do something a little extra with your degree, to get something more out of UTRGV through honors college, study abroad, scholarship opportunities, research opportunities, all those different things. And then of course, the other side of that coin is financial aid. We know it's really, really important for our students to complete their FAFSA. We're dealing with students and families who are doing it for the very, very first time. And so helping them understand that process, helping them understand how important the deadlines are. And the other piece of that is helping them understand that there is opportunity there. Fill it out, do what you need to do to get it done. So we do different things to help students prepare for their application process. Some other things we do, Explore is where we've tried to partner. That's our admitted student day. We partner with student success to do a lot of those pieces that Dr. Ramos was talking about, of like career exploration. What is my major? Is that the right major for me? Is UTRGV the right place for me? We partner a lot with housing, student activities to express or help express what student life is like, what those things outside of the classroom are like at UTRGV. Junior days, like I mentioned, we're gearing up for junior days and senior summer workshops. Those are places where we're even farther back on the application process of just general college search. What do you need to know for college search? How do you start an application? How do you narrow down your schools? Vaqueros on the Road is a brand new program we just got done. We got back yesterday from Houston, where we bring UTRGV to different regions of Texas. And it's been a whole lot of fun. So college access partners are high school counselors, really, or two-year partners. So we do a few different things for them. We do a counselor update every single fall on campus. So we have one in Brownsville and one in Edinburgh, where we bring high school counselors, our high school partners, to campus for their big admissions, financial aid, new programs, reminders of important things, and update them for that year. We do this in our regions as well. So our regional reps host their counselors in different ways to give them the updates on UTRGV. A lot of what they're doing is just educating on the institution in general. So they are different programs since they are out of area, and our counselors at this point have some knowledge, good knowledge on the institution. Counselor briefings, lunch and learn. So this is something that came out of the pandemic when things were changing really, really, really fast, that 2020, on how that senior class was having to finalize their admissions and go through orientation, and we kept it. So once a month, we invite our counselors from across Texas to join us over lunch. It takes about 30 minutes. We give them the updates for that particular point in time. So in the fall, it's a lot about college fairs, applications open, when the FAFSA opens, and right now it's about preparing your students for orientation. We know we only have about a month left before they're on summer break. And so there's a lot we have to connect with and get them done before that high school counselor loses touch with them as well. So we do these, our next one is actually next week. And then we do the same for our 2-year partners from the community colleges. Campus tours happen out of our office. So prospective student tours, got the dates there. We do host group tours as well. Anyone who is interested in a tour can visit our website. I should have put it on there and I didn't, I'm very sorry. But we really do encourage juniors, sophomores, and juniors and seniors to come take a campus tour, especially if they think they've already seen campus. You know, like just because your middle school came and took a tour once that's not good enough for us. We want to see you in high school. We want to meet your parents. We want you to talk to one of our tour guides and know what it's like to be a student here, talk to them about what their experience is, be able to actually imagine yourself on campus as a student. Just so you know, this is so high level. Our team also manages communications to students. So these are the different, we call them communication flows. So these are the different kinds of messaging that go out. They're very intricate and there's a lot of different messages to a lot of different populations, but we start as early as sophomores, sophomore, junior, seniors, and then any names or anything we gather from SAT. There's a few different other programs we use to find potential students who have not reached out to us yet, but are a good fit for the institution. So these are the different kinds of campaigns that we do through our office. This is just a little plug. You can follow us on UTRGV admissions, see the students who have been admitted and are posting different things we do in our office, different events coming up. It's a really good way to keep up with what our office is doing and the new students coming in. And it's just really fun sometimes just to see a student with their admit packet on your social media feed and to see them be excited about coming to UTRGV too. Go follow the girls down at U Central Matamoros. They do really cute posts and little activities with their students and have them come in and visit as well. I really enjoy watching what they're doing because they don't get to visit us much. So they're down there, just two little outreach reps doing their best with their students in Mexico. So some ways, some things to help you guys connect with us. Again, Dr. Ramos just set us all up for a real good success today. I meant to give him a hard time and be like, don't you say anything about us, but it's fine. That warm handoff is really, really, really important when it comes to new students. It's so important when it comes to new students. They do not know how to navigate the institution. They find the most random phone numbers and offices to walk into. I don't know how they get some of the places they get, but they get there. Right? And then you have them and they need to connect with us. And it's so much more helpful to us when we know where they came from and we know that they talked to you versus well, they just told me. It's like, oh, they who? How do I help you? I don't know how to help you. So these are a few different ways to make sure you're connecting. One, here's just the map. So if you did have a student from out of area, you can see the different areas and you can go to the recruitment map. This thing is interactive and you can click around. You can also use the schedule an appointment to get to an actual outreach rep. You can also just message them on Teams and be like, hey, can you call a student back? They just called me and I can't help them, but you can. Like I mentioned before, that U Central line actually does connect a student to admissions as well, or to our call team. So they can always call that main U Central line and navigate through and get a rep from our office. And then we do fall and spring updates for the UTRGV community. So anyone's invited to come to those. It usually is the first week of September, and then right before classes start in January. And then we go into way more detail about all the things that we're doing and how we're looking, what we've accomplished the previous year or semester, and then forecasting for the next year and what events we're doing and how you can get involved. And then I think this is the last thing I have, new student orientation. It has started. It is here. Actually feels, because the first few are a little rough. And we haven't done an in-person orientation like this since 2019. And so it's really exciting to see them back on campus. This is an actual photo from one of our orientations with an orientation leader with an orientation group, which is really exciting to see everyone back on campus and connecting with UTRGV. So there's the main website. If you have a student who needs their orientation, that's where you send them. But for you guys, I want to ask how y'all can be involved with orientation, which we want all of campus to be involved with the orientation, is to, on an orientation day, and I can work out with the staff senate people getting you guys dates. I was not prepared for that until I thought about it this exact second. Sorry about that. But on orientation days, wear orange, make your offices orange, say welcome new students, put something up, have something that shows that campus knows that they're here and is excited that they're here. Just because they're at orientation does not mean they've made their choice to attend UTRGV. They are still making their choice to attend UTRGV. And we have plenty of students who show up to orientation because they went to somebody else's orientation and didn't like it. So I don't want any of our students to leave our orientation and end up somewhere else, right? So they're still making choices. They're still deciding on their classes. So it's really important. And it'd be so great to see all of campus excited and aware that they're here. If you're just really into welcoming students, and I know some of you are, something else you can do as an office or as a group is to welcome new students and families as they check in. So here's just a little behind the scenes from 8 to 9 on orientation days. This is where students and their families are walking from. E19 to the Union, or in Brownsville, B2 to the Union. That's their little path as they go. If any of you have run a race and you know the people with like music and signs that are cheering you along, it'd be real cool to see that happen at orientation. So if that's something you like doing, I think it'd be a really great way to welcome our new students. And that's all I have. Let me stop sharing.
Thank you so much, Andrea. As y'all may know, it's here, orientation. So I love how you emphasize that. Not a lot of our colleagues know that, but this is one of the reasons why we decided to bring you in, because we all play a part in this big piece and this bigger picture. And so I think we can already create a hashtag, let's share our story, because we, as this institution, we want to be able to create that narrative, that spirit, and that culture of excellence and being here to serve our students. We do have a different background, and so it seems that everyone, as y'all can see, everyone has a bigger purpose in this bigger picture. And so thank you so much, Andrea, for sharing that information. We will definitely share that list of dates with our fellow colleagues, because we can definitely create a campaign, possibly wear orange campaign on orientation dates. I know several districts or divisions are already in collaboration with your department, but it doesn't hurt to bring in governmental relations or institutional advancement into the bigger picture as well. All right, thank you so much, Andrea. With this in mind, our last guest speaker for this meeting is going to be Mr. Jeremy San Miguel. And so he'll be talking to us about UTRGV's Earth Fest.
There we go. Thank you all this morning. Good morning, Staff Senate, my fellow colleagues, Madam President. Thank you again for the opportunity. My name is Jeremy San Miguel, and I'm with the Office for Sustainability. Make sure to keep this short and get you on with your program, the schedule. I'm going to go ahead and share screen really fast. What you are seeing here is going to be our Earth Fest page, right, on the UTRGV website. Now, we want to cordially invite you to this year's Earth Fest, which will commemorate all of the great research and initiatives that our faculty and partners are doing in the realm of Planet Earth, right? This event is co-hosted by the School of Earth, Environment, and Marine Sciences, otherwise known as SAMES, School of Earth, Environment, and Marine Sciences, and just a myriad of partners, right, that come together to make all of this possible, right? Hundreds of hours. We are supported by Engaged Scholarship Symposium, the Office for Community Engagement, Upward Bound, and Gear Up, which again, it's just so amazing having the kind of support needed. And we would like to invite you to attend these festivities as well, right? So these events will cover presentations of luminary and groundbreaking faculty and student research that aligns with the United Nations Goals for Sustainable Development relating to environment, which are water, life on land, really cool movie screenings that correlate to the actual day itself. The yearly Earth Change will be streaming on Tuesday, Life Below Water, Brave Blue World, which corresponds with our research on water, Climate Action, the film Inhabitants, which again are all free screenings that occur in the evening, Affordable and Clean Energy, and we get to celebrate Pollinator Day, right? We are a B Campus designated university, which by the way takes a lot of planning and commitment, right? And we have the designation for the Brownsville campus, so we get the wonderful opportunity of planting a pollinating flower tree on Friday from 11 to 12 at the Pollinator Cantina in the Brownsville campus. So that would be a really great place to support if you're going to be on the campus. And of course, finishing off with a Friday film screening, right? And the presentations themselves are going to be from 9:15 to about 10:30, right? Open for discussion at the end. And it would just mean the world to have staff Senate support, have our staff present, maybe to just take a look at what's going on, what makes UTRGV even more special in the realm of research, and how we partner to make events like these possible. And one of the coolest things is through the collaboration with Gear Up and Upward Bound, we're going to be streaming EarthFest in the classrooms, right, throughout the Rio Grande Valley, which is an immense accomplishment, and it wouldn't be possible without the kind of support needed by conversations like these, right? And so we're hoping that you make it out to one of our daily presentations. The information, the links are going to be found on our sustainability page, which I will go ahead and put right in the chat here, just in case you need it. I believe Madam President is also going to be placing our program on the chat as well, which thank you so much for that. Aside from showing you this great program that our graphic designers have come up with, we also wanted to share a submittal that we're planning on putting in the UTRGV Writer, which is going to showcase kind of the overview of the week, right? Number one, EarthFest, and subsequently the other wonderful activities are going on throughout the week, which are Engaged Scholarship Symposium, Vaqueros Volunteer Day of Service, the Pollinator Day, which incorporates the tree planting, and of course the Film Fest. And it just means that we'll be able to present this to you today. EarthFest does start next week. So again, the film screenings will be in the evening from 6 to 8, and the actual presentations themselves daily will be from about 9 to 11. And I hope I was good on my time. I know I was in last minute, so good.
No, you're good. Flyer has been dropped to the chat box. So literally what Mr. San Miguel just presented, information's there. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for joining us. And if y'all have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to him. Again, each of us is part of the bigger picture. And so even, getting involved, how we can better serve, even our planet, and just those, meeting colleagues and establishing those relationships. But thank you so much, Jeremy. We appreciate you.
President.
All right. So up next, we are now moving on to our committee reports. And so our very first committee, we have the Communications Committee. And we will have our first chair, or co-chair, sorry, Madam Co-Chair Melanie Garza.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Thank you for the handoff, Madam President. So as you all know, my name is Melanie Garza. I'm the co-chair. We do have a chair, Ms. Tammy Munoz, who's currently out on approved leave. But the rest of our committee members consist of Mr. Rogelio Chanes, Juan Santos Flores, Karina Herrera, Noel Yazos, Madam President Yadira Mejia, Laura Ramos, and Rolando Segovia. So I'm excited to work with this team over the next months and year. But essentially, our committee is here to just continue promoting staff Senate efforts, staff efforts, campus events, and university updates in a timely manner. We really want to prevent people feeling, oh, I wish I knew about this event. So with that, it comes the different communication channels that we have. So it's email, social media, stuff like that. I will be providing our social media handles just in case people want to add and follow us for those updates. We know not everybody is involved in social media. So again, we want to continue growing all those different channels for that. And yeah, if y'all do have any ideas that you would like to share with us, want us to implement, feel free to include them in the chat and we'll definitely take notes so we can talk about them the next time we meet. Look forward to working with all of y'all.
Thank you, Madam Co-Chair. Up next, we have our next committee, which is the Elections and Constitution Committee. Our chair is Ms. Monica Granado and co-chair Irene Cardenas.
Hi, I'm Monica Granado. I'm the chair of the Elections and Constitution Committee. As Yadira mentioned, our co-chair is Irene Cardenas, and I'll introduce you to the rest of the members, who are Caitlin Bruseth, Armando Garza, John Garza, David Guerra, and Kelly Quinn. The purpose of our committee is to review the staff Senate constitution and election processes and make updates as necessary, and to coordinate with the election task force to work on that as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair Granado. Our next committee, we have our feedback committee, Madam Chair Marissa Campiriano and Madam Co-Chair Jasmine Zuniga.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marisa Campirano, and I am one of the co-chairs for the Staff Feedback Committee. Also on our committee is Melba Cantu, Karen Dorado, Nicole English, Noel Lazos, Yadira Mejia, Alicia Puentes, and Cordelia Raza. The purpose of our committee is to be kind of the place where you can send any feedback you have, whether that is positive or constructive feedback, to help us facilitate conversation within Staff Senate, but also to help send maybe some of that feedback up to our university leadership so that we can see how we can better facilitate some of the ideas that you have, and as we said, positive and constructive feedback you might have. I'm going to put the link in the chat that goes to our forum. So please feel free, if you have any feedback you'd like to share with us, something you'd like us to know or anything like that, let us know and fill out that form. But we appreciate working with you.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Up next, we have our Staff Success Committee. And so with them, I'd like to welcome you all, Chair, Madam Chair Maribel Mata, Madam Co-Chair Ms. Veronica Villarreal.
Thank you, Madam President. Good morning, everybody. My name is Maribel Mata. I am your chair to the Staff Success Committee. Our co-chair is Veronica Villarreal. Other members in our committee include Orlando Castañeda, Claudia Doe, Noel Eniazos, Yadira Mejia, Ashley Mercado, and Laura Ramos. So our goal is to increase staff morale through activities on campus and online as well. So we'll be working with you. If you have any ideas as to what activities you'd be interested in seeing, please let us know. We also want to increase our committee's visibility on campus. So you'll be seeing more of us, and we're excited to collaborate throughout campus with different districts and organizations. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair Mata. We'll now move to open the floor for public comments and questions.
Madam Chair, sorry, not Chair, Ms. Quinn, parliamentarian, sorry. I do have an announcement. So within our Staff Senate, as y'all may know, it is composed of different roles from each division, each district. And so we do have representatives that represent each division And so with that in mind, we have two new members that have joined us from the Division of Strategic Enrollment and Student Affairs. Our first one is Ms. Cristina De Leon. She is the NCAA Certification Coordinator, and she will serve as your staff senator once again for the Strategic Enrollment and Student Affairs. Cristina, are you here? You just wave.
Yes, hi.
Thank you so much, Cristina. And next we have Mr. Javier Salinas, which he is an assistant director for enrollment communication. And so with that in mind, again, he will be serving as the staff senator of the Division of Strategic Enrollment and Student Affairs. Mr. Javier Salinas.
Thank you so much. I'm excited and grateful to be a part of Staff Senate. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Javier. With this in mind, we will be collaborating with these two individuals, get them on board. We invited them to, come get a glimpse of the Staff Senate meeting. And so they're looking forward to serving you all to the best of their ability, not only within their division, but also to the institution itself. That will be my announcement, Madam Parliamentarian.
Do we have any further public comments or questions?
May I add to something to Madam President's announcement? I just want to point out that these two new staff senators are joining us because of two new vacancies that occurred within the division that they are filling in. One of our staff senator previously has left the university with a better opportunity for him, and then the other one has stepped down from the role. And so thank you once again, Javier and Cristina, for filling in and accepting the staff senate duties. Aside from that, I would like to share an announcement. April 27th, it seems to be going to be a very fun day. It is Administrative Day. Daylin, correct me. Administration Professional Day. And also it is Denim Day as well. And I believe that my colleague, Amanda Quintanilla, is here with us this morning. If you can just share with us a little bit about Denim Day. Is she still?
Hi, I'm here. I'm here just really quick because I know everybody has places to go. Denim Day, we're going to be, it's in support of victims and survivors of sexual assault. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So the police department, myself, victim services, OVAP, other departments from campus and off campus will also be participating in a table event. We'll have an exhibit. We will be on the Brownsville campus on Tuesday, April the 26th in the courtyard. And then we will be in the Edinburgh campus at the chapel lawn and both of them will be from 11 to 1. So both days, please support our community, victims and survivors, by wearing jeans, posting yourself with messages, positive messages, any kind of message you'd like, wearing your jeans to social media, and follow the UTRGV PD on Facebook, follow the OVAP office on Facebook, and they have Instagram. We also have Twitter, so that you all can be aware of the information and the backstory and so forth. Okay, thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda.
Yes,
And as I said, that day is also Administrative Professionals Day. So I think that would be fitting for us to be able to wear our denims that day in a relaxed fashion, and also standing up for a cause. So please mark that on your calendars. Thank you.
Madam Parliamentarian, I do have another announcement from Mr. Carlo Munoz. I went ahead and posted in the chat, the UTRGV Symphony Orchestra will be presenting the Romantic Symphony. So those are the listed dates in the chat.
Do we have any other further comments, questions?
All right. If there aren't any further public comments or questions, we will now move on to make a motion to adjourn. May I have a staff senator?
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second?
I second.
Is there any debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? All those in favor, please say aye in the chat. All opposed? Any abstentions?
Okay, I think this meeting is adjourned at 10:49 a.m. Give y'all 10 more minutes back in your day.
Yes. Thank you all so much.